At the age of 5, I wanted to be on TV. I didn't have any connections in TV. I didn't know anybody. So when I got that really good job, I'll never forget when God tapped me on my shoulder and told me to quit my job, move to Atlanta and start over. And because I was locked in on that vision with unwavering faith, I took a leap. They were like, "We're going to pause. We want to work with local people." I was devastated. And I asked God, why did you even put me here? He said, "I created you to bring hope to the next generation." Now I'm one of the top speakers in the world. All because I was able to give up something that was good for something great. Welcome to the Finally Healed with Jessica Lundy podcast, where we prioritize mental health, self-care, and embracing our healing journey together. Today, we are talking about something deep, something that I hoped you feel convicted to dream bigger. We're talking about obedience over comfort. This is like one of those conversations that you can only have with the right people. Some of you know that you were created for more. You were created for greatness. There's always been something different about you than your friends and your families. Can I talk to the black sheeps of the family? Okay. Because I remember having conversations with people, at the age of 5, I wanted to be on TV. Just imagine when everybody's going around the little room in kindergarten and they saying they wanna be a firefighter or a wrestler, and I'm like, "No, I wanna be a talk show host." Where does that self-awareness even come from at such a young age? For me, that came from exposure. My mom was always introducing me to so many things. I didn't really watch cartoons as a kid. I watched Seinfeld. I feel like that sounds crazy to say I watched Seinfeld as a kid instead of cartoons, but I lived a mature life, okay? At 2, my mom says I was already answering the phone, so she knew that I would end up somehow in the communication industry. So I had pretty much clarity when they were asking us those deep questions in kindergarten of what we wanted to be when we grew up. So when I decided, and I truly believe that there is power in our decisions. When I decided at the age of 5 that I wanted to be a TV host, y'all didn't know it was gonna take me 20 years to turn that dream into a reality. It came with some ups and some downs, and it was not an easy experience at all. What most people don't realize is when you see the people on the news anchors at the desk, or the reporters out on the scene, it's not about just going to school for journalism. People think that's people always come up to me, and it's okay if you come up to me and say this, but people always like, "Oh, I was a journalism major, or I was a communication major." That doesn't mean you're gonna make it in the market. It's extremely competitive. So there are 250 markets in the TV industry, meaning if you live in a small town, you might have a small town TV station. If you live in a big town, you live a big one. Most people start in market 200, 150, work their way up, and they're literally moving every 2 years to go up the ranks. I had told God, that was just not the vision that I had for my life. I wanted to start at the top. My goal and my desire was to start my career at a top 10 market. That had never happened, especially if someone isn't what's called legacy. But I'm big on vision. I'm big on having clarity of what you desire despite your circumstances. I didn't have any connections in TV. I didn't know anybody. So it wasn't realistic. It wasn't the safe choice to really dream outside of my circumstances or outside of my circle. But that's what I desire. When I finally turned that dream into reality, I competed with over 1,500 people to be the face of a TV network in Detroit. And when I got that call, I'll never forget, for the people that are from Michigan, from Detroit, Somerset Mall, which is it's like our Lenox, okay? It's like our nice mall per se. And I was on the good side. So there's the regular side and there's the rich side, okay? If you know, you know. And so I think I was leaving Nordstrom's or something like that over there on the other side. And when I got that call, I was ecstatic. And y'all, they called me right before Christmas. It was the gift that keeps on giving, to be honest. And I was so honored. I'll never forget there was a girl that came up to me in the mall, like, months later and was like, "Why did they pick you over me?" It was crazy because even though I was in that competition with people, like, the person in front of me was from LA, the person behind me had flew in from New York, like, so many people from Michigan, from Detroit have, like, the grit and the hustle to make it, but often have to leave to go to bigger cities. But I believe that I could be a success, like, in my hometown, like, in my community, like, not having to leave, like, that was a standard that I set for my own life and for my business and for my career. I never thought about competition. Like, even though there were so many people, y'all, I was so locked in on my vision, it didn't matter if 10,000,000 people showed up, I was still gonna get that job. That's the level of focus that you have to have for the things that you desire. And so when I got that really good job, like, that I always desired, it didn't look the way that I expected it to look. Like, I was working, like, 60 hours a week. I was on the board of everything because I was constantly trying to prove myself. Even though I had beat all those people, I still didn't think I was good enough. Isn't that crazy? How we can be at the top of our game, at the top of our industry, and still struggling with belief. But I pressed past, I gave 100% every day. Oftentimes, I gave 200% if we can be honest, which ultimately led to burnout. But that's another story for another day. But I had it all, to be honest. Like, people thought this was the dream. They're like, "Where do you go from here?" I had done some national TV. Like, I was literally projected to be the next Oprah. I've had the opportunity to meet Oprah. We'll talk about that another day. But I had it. Like, I had made it. I'll never forget when God, like, tapped me on my shoulder and told me to quit my job, move to Atlanta, and start over. I ain't gonna lie. Instantly, I thought that was the devil. It's got to be the devil. Ain't no way God, not my God, gonna tell me to quit my job, my good job that I've been wanting for 20 years to do what? What am I doing in Atlanta? So instantly, everybody told me, "Okay, clearly God's gonna upgrade you, and you're gonna go to CNN, and it's gonna be amazing." Like, when I tell you I quit my job, it was so crazy. Hopefully, he would not mind me saying this. But the owner of the TV station was like, "Are you leaving for a competitor? Like, give me some context. Like, this just feels out of nowhere. Like, we can give you a promotion. Like, just let me know so we can keep you." And I remember looking at him with conviction right in my eye and saying, like, "This has nothing to do with what you can or cannot provide for me. I am listening to a much bigger source." I know those first 6 months, they were, like, checking on me to make sure that I did not actually leave to go somewhere else, and it had nothing to do. If it was my plan, I would have just stayed there. It was an amazing opportunity. I got to do some of the coolest thing. I had my own concert series, got to be on national TV, like, they really exposed me to a lot of things, and they gave me a lot of freedom, creative freedom to do what I like. It was good. But what happens when you know that you're actually created for greatness? Something bigger that everybody in your circle, everybody in your lineage, everybody in your bloodline thinks is possible for you. I had a conviction to do something great. And because I was locked in on that vision with unwavering faith, I took a leap. Y'all, packed up my penthouse apartment that I would just was so in love with, moved to Atlanta on a hope and a prayer, and things did not go the way I planned. Wouldn't it have been so nice if I was able to say, "Yes, I landed in Atlanta, and CNN called, and ABC called, and it was amazing." They were like, "We've had too many people move here full of hopes and dreams. We're gonna pause bringing all these transplants in. We wanna work with local people." I was devastated. 'Cause sometimes when you leave good for great, your heart can be broken. And for a moment, my heart was broken. Because my heart was broken and I allowed myself to feel the emotions that were coming instead of suppressing it, it led me to get quiet in prayer. And I asked God, like, why did you even put me here? Like, keep it a buck with me, God. Like, I don't know how y'all be praying. Yeah, maybe y'all pray all like nice and spiritual and poised and confident. But I just talk to God like I would talk to my friends. And I'm like, you're gonna have to give me some clarity on what's going on here because this is not making sense. And he literally said, I'll never forget this. It literally gives me chills even saying it out of my mouth. But he said, I created you to bring hope to the next generation. And when I heard that, I just felt convicted to like go on social media and tell people, I'm having a tour. Join the dates. I started reaching out to schools and organizations and colleges. And then one school booked me, another school booked me, another university. And like, now I'm one of the top speakers in the world. All because I was able to give up something that was good for something great. All because I was committed to being obedient to the will, to the call, to the purpose, to the desire. that God, who is so much bigger than me, the creator, saw fit to choose me to lead a generation. That's something that I take very seriously. Now, was I fearful? For sure. Yes, at times I'm like, God, this is not like what I expected, or the timeline looked different. Or there were times we struggled during that process, if I can keep it honest with you. Like, it did not look pretty, but I just kept talking to myself. That's why talking to yourself in the mirror, positive self talk, that's why I created those audio affirmations, because on the days where I was feeling my lowest, I needed to hear I was amazing, that I was great, that good things were gonna happen to me. So if you haven't gotten your copy of my audio affirmations that you should be listening to every day to start your day, you already know what to do. I'll put that link in the show notes. It will change your life. We have thousands of people all over the world that start their day by listening to me, encouraging them, inspiring them. But there was a time that I actually needed to hear myself say those words because I didn't have it. I had to borrow some belief from a version of myself that didn't even exist, and just hope that all of the dreams and desires that she had would come to pass. This is what happened. So you might be thinking, okay, Jess, that sounds good. You did it. Like, what does that look like for me? One, it looks like getting clarity. I will use the word clarity time and time again because so many people lack it. So many people do not have vision. When I think about the work that needs to be done, that work needs to be done in stillness. It needs to be done in the quiet place, in the secret place. A lot of times we're trying to put our dreams out loud on social media, and that's cool. But I still believe that there is a space and place available for the secret things between you and your creator. And that quietness and that stillness is going to produce more clarity than you have ever had in your life. Secondly, you got to get around some winners. I just feel like it's easier to be obedient when you are around other people who walk in obedience, right? If you're around some people that's super disobedient, like your obedience makes them uncomfortable. Like there's definitely been seasons where I'm like, yo, I used to be pretty popular. Like I had a lot of friends. Like, where are they at? Oh, my obedience makes them uncomfortable. And then you have a decision to make. You can choose to be like them, and you look up in 5 to 10 years and their life ain't changed one bit. Or you can choose to say, listen, I know this is uncomfortable. I know this feels a little bit awkward, like, and you can really lean into it. But you don't have to do it alone. You got my support. Like we locked in. Like you listen to the pod. Listen, we're starting a community. Like you can be a part of something great, something memorable, something exciting, something revolutionary if you allow your mind to even realize that's possible. So I want to take you to my favorite part of the show, the healing moment, where I give you an action item that you can put into practice so that you can really embrace your healing journey. I know there probably is one, if not two, maybe three things that you are currently being disobedient in. Now you might be thinking, I'm grown. How am I being disobedient? You already know God then told you to do X, Y, and Z, and you're either ignoring what God told you to do, or you're playing way too small. The season of playing small is over. I want you to no longer be looking at people on social media saying, man, they're so lucky, or it worked out for them. No, they were resilient. And you too can be resilient as well. Listen, if you have enjoyed another episode of the Finally Healed with Jessica Lundy podcast, you already know what I need you to do. I need you to like it. I need you to leave a comment. If you're releasing some stuff from your past, like send me a DM. Like I will hype you up personally because you are that important to me. And if this episode blessed you, please send this to someone that is so special in your life. Once again, you've got this. So women always ask me, how do I do it all? Being a wife for 10 years, a mother, an international keynote speaker, a keynote writing coach. I am so blessed to occupy so many spaces, and I am ready to give you all of the goods. I've never done a workshop quite like this before, but I am ready. It is time for us to get in our PJs and have a new year, new me. Bump that. new opportunities, new mindset, new habits, new money, okay? Going into the new year, we are gonna have a packed 2-hour workshop where we're gonna be releasing some stuff from the past. We're gonna be planning from the new year. This is an event that you cannot afford to miss. I know that you are tired of playing small. You know that greatness is inside of you, and I want to pull it out of you so that you can truly launch into the best version of yourself. So to learn more, click the link below. You've got this, and I can't wait to party with you virtually.